with 4 games left, and your answer cannot be wins. So remember that. What is the most important thing for this team to focus on over the last 4 games of the season?
Progress. And that starts with Drake. It's also finding out more about, some of these players who we've already written off, like the two young wide receivers. They need intel on that. Caden Wallace is coming back. Can he help on the line? Perhaps not on the left side as a tackle, but perhaps on the right side. Um, because all of this information is going to go into their decision making and pursuit of players in the off season. They have to know if their draft picks are really probably headed in the bus category, or if there really is hope for them. Put in the right positions to succeed. Having them, not playing out of position, having them not having a right tackle play left tackle, not having a slot guy play out on the, on out on the boundary.
Mhm.
I mean, they need to put these guys in positions to succeed and see if they can succeed. They also have to see, um, again, who's checked out or who's still checked in.
Mhm.
And I think that's an important thing in terms of evaluating players.
Mhm.
You know, i- do you want guys who are going to check out because you're 3-10? Is that the guys you want to build around, or is it around the guys who are really trying hard to make plays and do things? So I think those things are important. But again, I go back to Bill Parcells' first year and Bill Belichick's first year. Those weren't great years. I mean, I think Parcells' team might have started out 1-11 or 1-10, or 1-11, but they won their last 4 games. And it wasn't necessarily about winning. It was how they played and how they looked. Belichick's first year, they were 5-11, but I think they won 3 of their last 6 games. And it was how they played, how they competed in those final games that gave both the fandom hope, but mostly it gave the players hope about the next season. There was a little bit of momentum for them carrying into the next season, thinking we're not going to go through another 3 and whatever season. It's going to be just getting them to think it's going to be better. If they lose out and get bombed in all those games, well, that's another story, and it won't be a good one.
Right. No, I totally agree with that. I think, I mean, obviously, yeah, winning should always be the goal, right? And that's a cliche answer that all of them give. But I'm with you when it comes to the progress. Like, I want to see them focus on being more aggressive, right? And that's something that we brought up earlier on the show. Um, that that has to happen. Like, you can't, the Tennessee game
Yeah,
stands out for me this year, right? You find a way to score on the final drive and he said, "Oh, no, I'd rather go
yeah,
in overtime." And I'm like, "No, like,
right,
just go out there, find a way to win the game because you never know
right.
what that might have done for the locker room had you gone out and won the game." So, yeah, I want them to focus on being more aggressive. Um, and I want to see Alex Van Pelt say, and just I want him to have a pulse. I want him to say, "Okay, if this is working where Drake is going crazy and just let him rip. Or if Gibson and Stevenson are going crazy, let them go crazy. Like don't have to say,
Yeah,
well, shoot, we ran 8
mm,
times in a row. Maybe we gotta pass it, or we passed 10 times in a row.
yeah,
Let's run it like to just have the feel, find the feel, keep building the culture. And if
yeah,
you build it, they will come. So
yeah. I think we've actually seen more from Alex Van Pelt and their offense in
mm,
recent weeks.
yes.
Yep.
It's not this boring run, run, throw, run. I mean, they've tried to do things. They've tried to open up the offense. But again, going back to where we started, it still ultimately comes down to talent. Coaches can only do certain things, only do what their talent is capable of doing,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And if you don't have the talent, to zig or zag or you know, do what the Chiefs do or have plays that Buffalo has. Teams that have talent. If you don't have the talent, you're kind of handcuffed as to how creative you can be. Or maybe you try to be creative and it's just like, they just can't do it.
Yeah, but to your
They
point,
just can't pull it off.
though, like, and I say this, and Ray, like, his blood pressure spikes. Like, there is a difference between a good loss and a bad loss. And I would just point
Oh
to
yeah.
their loss
Yeah.
against the Rams looks better now after what we saw Sunday night.
Yeah.
When they blew out, when they did what they did
When they
against Buffalo,
yeah.
right? So, like, if you see a team that
And it was Buffalo making a bonehead
I know,
coaching staff
but
making a
but
bonehead play at the end.
if over these last 4 games, you can be the little engine that couldn't, right? But you try your
Yeah.
hardest, the effort is
Yeah.
there. You're gonna see, hopefully, to your point, in free agency, how could that coach still get those players to play like that when they had nothing to play for? I wanna go there.
Yeah. Yeah. Or Dre continues to get better and better and better and better. And these guys are going, he might be kind of cool to catch passes for him, play for, you
Yeah.
know? Or they're going somewhere because they got this kid, right?
Yep.
Put it this way. Do you think, well, with the exception of the income tax or the tax situation, are teams going to be more inclined to go to Tennessee now or come to Boston based on the quarterback situation? Right?
So it should be New England, 100%.
Right.
Listen,
Right. But
Will Levis, come
Uh,
on.
right.
well, I mean, that
Income tax or not, Will Levis does not. He's about to become a Jag down there in Tennessee. He's not the guy of the future. He's just not.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying, but they lost out on Ridley to Tennessee.
right.
Yeah,
So,
I'm sure
And, like,
he's regretting.
do you
DeAndre
get
Hopkins,
I mean,
like it doesn't make sense.
and I don't know if I'd want him, but does Keenan Allen take a look at the Patriots now after seeing what he did in Chicago and say, "You know what? I think Drake actually might be the guy."
yeah, better than this guy. Well,
Uh,
and again, I can see differences. Again, I'm not, I don't think Caleb Williams is buried.
No.
But the biggest difference I see between the two is that, again, it's that pocket sense and awareness. Drake knows two things better than Caleb or shows. He 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 moves out of the pocket or runs at the right time. He gets rid of the ball quickly, whereas Caleb Williams is sitting there. Again, Drake's guys aren't getting open, and when Drake knows they're not getting open, he'll run or he'll scramble out and throw the ball away. Caleb holds on and holds on and holds on, sack.
yeah,
Holds on, holds on, sack. Or not having an awareness that the clock is running out and you can't throw the ball deep.
yeah. Well, I think that's just the difference of the team, though, right? Is like we talked about this earlier on in the season. Is it felt like Caleb was being brought into a situation where, listen, like, we know how good you are, but you don't have to be that way in order for us to win. Just don't lose the game for us. Whereas in New England, it's like, man, Drake, we need you. Like, you need to do whatever you can do in order for us to win the game. It's like he has that little Drew Bledsoe from '01 in his ear saying, "No, F that. Just go out there and sling it. Just
Yeah.
just go sling it."
Right. And the only issue Drake's coming up with in that scenario of he has to be the guy, he's made a few too many turnovers,
Sure.
Yeah.
right? Again, trying to do things either in the final minutes of games or not being careful with the ball when he's trying to elude the rush. But the other beauty or other really good thing about Drake, he is definitely someone who learns from his mistakes. And he's somebody who really tries not to be the repeat offender.
Right.
You'll see him make a certain mistake one week and that mistake is gone the next week. So he really tries, he is trying to get better, but is also keenly aware that he needs personally to be aggressive for this team to have a chance. And he understands that. He's just trying to define those parameters, right?
Yep.
Can I get away with sticking the ball in there? Can I get away with doing this? Can I get away with, okay, it didn't happen that time or that got picked off. That's not going to happen again. But you don't want him to get like Mac Jones and be afraid of everything, of every single thing.
Everything.
Right. So he still has that mentality. And I just hope, I hope things don't happen in the last four games to change that mentality.
Right.
Yeah.
One last
Beautiful.
go ahead, Ray, and I'm
No,
gonna
no,
close it out.
listen, okay, that was beautiful. I'm like, I just want Drake to keep getting better and, keep progressing, keep growing. Like I said, he's been the gem, in the season. So I just want to see him keep handling business. So he's been
Mm.